I'm just going to go. Let's go.
I think I'm in Streamline. Not showing up there. Oh, there we go.
Good. Let's go. Let's get homies. All right.
All right. Well, we're going to be reading today from the Bitcoin 1 Million book that we wrote. We're going to be reading chapter 14. We're probably going to break this into two because it is such a big chapter in length, but it's also such a good chapter.
But also there's a lot to cover here, and I think there's some stuff that was not written in the book that we should talk about.
Yeah. So this, of course, is on everyone's mind, AI. And we're going to talk about AI and Bitcoin. And I posted this great poll the other day about what would AI choose? You see my poll?
Yeah.
It would choose Bitcoin. If it was managing portfolios,
Mm-hmm.
it would choose Bitcoin. Yeah. Of course, the only choice in my poll was Bitcoin. Still, Bitcoin won 50%.
Yeah.
50% of people agreed. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the potential impact of AI on jobs and society and how all of that applies to Bitcoin and why it's part of the journey for Bitcoin to reach $1 million. Why AI is part of it.
One of the things I think would be useful to say, just like we're going to talk about quantum computer, or did we already talk about quantum? No, quantum's next. But, one of the things that's interesting here is we're not just kind of ChatGPT users, we're AI developers. So why don't I ask you first, before we get into this chapter, what's your experience developing with AI? When did you first start using AI as a coding tool?
I think I first started doing it maybe like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When
Copilot or what?
Yeah, like Copilot and also ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Copying and pasting to ChatGPT, and then Copilot came out and you could edit stuff in your actual. You could start working with AI in your actual code editor, and it was feeling kind of magical.
No.
And then I kept saying, like, Fred, you need to try this. Fred, you have to try this. And I tell all my friends, you have to try this. You have to try this. And everyone was kind of like, I know. I use ChatGPT for some. It's sort of useful at some things.
But they're always like, well, it's really shitty.
Yeah.
Like
it comes, it's hallucinating a lot. And then you ask your friend, you're like, are you using the paid version? They're like, no, I use the free version through this other app called Turtle. And I'm like, what the fuck is Turtle? And they're like, yeah, it's this really great app where you get free AI. I'm like, well, you got to pay $200 a month. They're like, what? Why would I do that? It doesn't seem to work on the free one. Anyways, cut to today. Now yesterday we were saying it's kind of like when Kasparov or Magnus Carlsen plays chess against 20 people at once, and they're going to each board blindfolded, making the moves. They just sit in the middle of the room blindfolded, telling the players how to move pieces. It's kind of like that. Like you could just we do have so much going on now. I have a TIE fighter set up of my monitors because we end up doing a lot of things at once with AI. It's amazing. It's just like the best coding partner you could ever imagine.
It's a whole team of people, really. The kind of stuff that can be done with AI. And I think you have a very, very bad view of AI if your experience of AI is ChatGPT. I feel like you don't understand where AI is going. You don't understand what it's capable of.
Yeah, unless you experience the autonomy of running an AI agent that can access your local file system. This is really important to understand.
Yeah.
But if it can't create files and then edit those files and make things for you, really, I know you're thinking ChatGPT can kind of do that, but kind of doesn't cut it. It's about 1/10 as powerful, maybe even less, 1/100th. But it can build, it can troubleshoot, it can set up servers, it could audit your code, it can play every role. It could do marketing, it can automate basically anything in your life that you do repeatedly. You can automate with AI now using these local AI tools. And
Yeah, the other thing I think
we're gonna do another event actually to teach people about it.
I think the other thing to point out is local AI versus hosted AI, right? So I'm sure all of you guys have used ChatGPT. All of you guys have used Grok. Some of you guys have used Gemini. What else might they have tried? I don't know.
Venice AI.
Venice AI, yeah, whatever. But how many of you have used a local LLM, a model where you downloaded the AI, turned the internet off, and ran AI? Well, not that many. And to do that, you're going to kind of really need a pretty hefty computer. So
Not true. You can run it.
that's true.
Here's the thing. You can run a 7B model. So 7 billion parameter model, let's say that's about 7 gigs. On most computers, you could load that and run it.
Well,
But you're going to get a shit ton of hallucinations. It's going to be way crappier than ChatGPT or Claude. You know, to really get something that's comparable, you have to run a 235 billion Qwen 2 model. It's kind of the top model now for conversation. And that's, I think it's a 220 something gigs. So you need a lot of RAM.
right. So, you know, we've got this little box here.
We do have a little box that can do it.
Yeah, this box here, where's the box? Oh yeah, that box there. That's a $15,000 or $12,000 box, I think we paid. Anyways, that box has 500 gigs of RAM.
Right. We have a really powerful computer here that we can, you know, we'd be happy to do some demos on another video for you guys.
But we've done a lot of testing of local LLMs and using local LLMs, and actually they're not bad. They're not bad at all.
You know, I think you have to adjust your expectations a little bit. When you are using ChatGPT or Claude, it's not just an LLM, it's the app infrastructure, all the scaffolding that they built around this thing to support it and make it really slick to use. It's multiple models coordinating with one another with all kinds of code tying it together and doing things like making it respond to you really quickly and then going and thinking about what to actually say.
Okay, so why don't you tell the audience what we're doing, what some of our AI products. We have 3 of them right now. But
yeah, we basically have 3 AI projects that we're sort of incubating here in the office, and we have different guys working on. One of them is called Xavier, and it's based on this idea that humans only live 20,000 days, and so our lives should be pretty simple. Actually, they are pretty simple. And what we're doing is creating a system where you can just dump everything you have going on in your life into one simple chat interface and it'll organize it all for you. So it organizes your life, it simplifies your life, it can track literally everything you're doing, help you brainstorm stuff, and also keep track of every task you have.
I want to show some chat.
Has a memory and everything. No, we're too hard to do that now.
Okay.
But it's not ready for prime time, but we're hoping to do a pre-beta in about a week. If you want to get into the pre-beta, shoot me a DM.
Yeah. So that's Xavier.
That's Xavier, you know, but one of the fascinating things about Xavier is that we identified sort of 9 canonical types of data.
And by the way, Corey Clipstein was making fun of us. He was looking at this board.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out what
what the hell is, what are you talking about?
These are the 9 types now. There's no car wash on there anymore.
No.
But we've been doing some brainstorming. That's our 9 canonical types of data that everything fits into. So everything in your life pretty much fits into these 9
So
types.
here they are. You have an asset. That could be an image, could be a document.
Yeah.
You have contact, that's a person, right? You have an event, like a birthday, an appointment. You have a journal, something you're logging, like, you know, a diary or something.
They have notes.
Or it could be notes.
Journal and notes are 2 different data types because a journal is a longer form, and a note is more of a quick.
So we have log, something happened. A note is just a blob of text. A place, a stat, which is something like, I want to track something.
It's
like
numeric data.
Price, my weight, whatever. And tasks and reminders.
Task reminders are kind of
This
one
is
thing.
kind of these types, which we've integrated into these concepts called hubs, which allows you to kind of organize in a very free form.
You're
And
gonna see
super
very
beautiful
simple,
way.
very slick little product, and everything will be really cool. And there will be a local LLM component, so you'll be able to turn it on and off. If you want to use the ChatGPT, OpenAI APIs, you can do that. If you want to use just our locally trained LLM, you'll be able to do that too. And so it'll be totally encrypted, private. You don't have to give it access to any of your calendar or email or anything. You just dump stuff into it, whatever you want. You choose exactly what it gets. So it's sort of a sandbox.
Okay, so the next one is
Next one is Auditor.
Yeah.
Auditor is an AI auditing platform. So, we kind of have this problem of when we're building stuff, whether humans build it or AI, we need to have it reviewed to make sure that there's no vulnerabilities. And we found that, using humans to do this is takes a very long time. And you have to then trust that the humans or the organization that you're using isn't going to withhold anything and then come back and use that against you, which is another big, this is real OPSEC stuff that is happening, that these people that are meant to help you protect your app are actually sometimes
finding vulnerabilities
and then coming back
screwing you.
Screwing you, really? Hacking you, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, this has happened recently, but there's been a lot of allegations about that happening. So, we came up with this idea of having a team of AI agents review the code by downloading the information, running it inside of a ephemeral container, running your code, reading every line, looking for issues that could be a security concern, and then creating a report on those, and then allowing you to go through that report and fix things. We've done a few of these for our friends' projects. So if you have a project you want us to audit, we'd love to do it. I'm not going to tell you guys what project we've been auditing, but we have been auditing some public projects too, and it's getting to be a little bit like, ooh, I don't know if we should put this stuff straight out without warning people.
Yeah.
So some very big projects, projects. Yeah, like Bitcoin Core. Yeah.
We audited it.
We audited Bitcoin Core. So that's the second project. And the third project is actually the most developed of all of them. Something that you could go and use today is Degen Predict. DEGEN Predict. And Degen Predict is a prediction market where anyone can make a prediction about anything and earn from it as people bet. So it's a very unique prediction market that's also powered by AI. AI decides whether something did or didn't happen. It's the only prediction market where you can make your own bet. There's no other prediction market where you can go and make your own prediction. And it's probably going to be that way for a very long time because this stuff is not easy to figure out, you guys. No. It's not.
And AI resolves the bet. That's the crazy thing. So we can make a bet 5 minutes from now, something happens.
AI we'll do a video on that later today.
Yeah.
We'll do another. Yeah. We'll do some live betting.
So those are the things we're doing. So we're doing a lot with AI. We're learning a lot about AI. We're becoming kind of crack AI developers. And we're going to talk about AI, and we're also a Bitcoiner, so we're going to talk about AI and Bitcoin. So,
yeah, AI and Bitcoin. So
why don't you yourself?
No, you do it.
Okay.
This is your.
All right, AI and Bitcoin. Get ready to lose your job. AI is about to make human labor obsolete, triggering mass unemployment, universal basic income, and the complete transformation of how we define value. This chapter reveals why AI changes everything about society except Bitcoin, and why that exception makes Bitcoin the most important asset of the next decade.
The end of human labor.
Yeah.
Your job could be gone by 2030. The technology will be ready by 2028, but regulatory barriers, capital inertia, and cultural resistance will create adoption friction. The specifics of timing don't matter. What matters is that AI is accelerating beyond anyone's ability to adapt. Technical capability arrives fast. Societal transformation follows. We're entering a world of abundant labor and resources, where machines do everything better, faster, and cheaper than humans ever could. Now, this abundance comes at a devastating cost. The complete disruption of how we understand value, how humans find purpose, and how we measure productivity in a world where AI and robots outperform humans at everything. When machines are infinitely more productive than any human, what happens to the 8 billion people who define themselves through work? Mass unemployment leads to social unrest. Governments print money for universal basic income to prevent collapse. That money printing destroys fiat currencies. And through it all, Bitcoin, with its fixed supply and mathematical certainty, becomes the only asset that maintains meaning in a world where everything else loses it. Since ChatGPT launched in November 2022, AI has infiltrated every industry. You're already using it daily. Coders use AI to build complex applications in hours instead of months. Doctors consult it for diagnoses. Traders rely on it for market analysis. This very book was refined with AI assistance. Did you see that? Did you see that news article, by the way? I don't know what newspaper this was, but I saw someone published an article that it ended with, "This is your clean article. Would you like me to do a version that did?" Like, it was printed in the paper, like
Wow.
an AI finishing.
Wow.
So the acceleration of AI is exponential. Each AI breakthrough enables the next one faster. GPT-4 helps train GPT-5. Current models optimize their own successors. Machines teaching machines to build better machines. The timeline for total transformation is measured in years, not decades.
All right, let me do this. Who goes first? The job extinction timeline reads like an economic death certificate for the middle class. Look at these dates. Now, I made this post. I put this thing out on Twitter before writing this book, or I think it may be about the same time. And it was very funny because this post got,
Millions of views.
I think, maybe 5 million
I
views.
saw people posting
Or no, 2
screenshots
million
of
views.
this on Facebook and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So basically, I had AI try to figure out what dies, how it happens, and when it happens. So here's the thing: what dies? Driving. Well, how it happens? Well, self-driving becomes ubiquitous. 12 million drivers are unemployed. When? 2029. Okay, 4 years from now. Doctors. What dies? Doctors die. AI diagnosis better than humans.
Doctors don't die. The job
The
of
job
being
of
a
doctor dies. AI diagnosis better than humans. Prescribed perfectly. Never forgets. When does it happen? 2030. Surgeons. Robotic surgery with zero tremor. Perfect precision every time. Do you want to go under the human knife or the robotic knife? Personally, me, I'll go robot every time. 2032. A little bit longer. Coders. AI writes and tests all code, deploys and maintains systems. When? 2028. 3 years from now. I think that's accurate. Teachers. Personalized AI tutors available. Individual attention for every student. When? 2029. Lawyers. AI reads all cases instantly. Writes perfect contracts and briefs. When? 2031. I think that's maybe even faster, but
I think it's probably. I mean,
but by 2035,
at the very minimum, lawyers who use AI replace lawyers who don't. Doctors who use AI replace doctors who don't.
the next ones are pretty interesting. Artists. AI generates any creative content. Images, songs, movies on demand.
Poems.
When? 2030. Now, for this, I would say that, do you know that, Ben, that the number one country song right now is AI generated?
Right.
The number one song in the country, I forget what the thing is, entirely country AI generated.
Yeah, it's not a
Factory.
country song, but it's.
It's a country song.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's a country song. Factories, total automation takes over. Lights out, manufacturing everywhere. Not a single human being allowed on the factory floor. It's all just completely automated. When? 2031. And finally, soldiers. AI-controlled drones and robots. Automated warfare systems deployed. When? 2033. Although Ukraine already is pushing the
You can already see it's already happened. Like all of these things are already happening to a degree today,
Mhm.
and so it's just
So the key thing here is you look at all these jobs, within a decade, every one of these jobs is going to be pretty much obsolete. Okay.
Yeah, the augmentation phase.
Why don't you go to the augmentation phase?
So before complete obsolescence comes augmentation, a deceptive middle period where AI makes some humans exponentially more productive while others become irrelevant. This phase, lasting years, not decades, creates a brutal divergence between the augmented and the obsolete. The expert radiologist with AI assistance reads 1,000 scans daily instead of 100. The senior lawyer with AI reviews 10,000 documents an hour. The elite coder deploys entire systems in days. These AI augmented professionals achieve productivity gains of 10, 50, even 100x. Their employers need few of them, but they pay survivors handsomely. Meanwhile, the average radiologist, the junior lawyer, the median coder, they're already redundant. Why pay for mediocrity when AI augmented excellence costs less? The augmentation phase doesn't democratize productivity. It creates a winner-take-all economy where the top 1% of professionals capture 99% of the remaining human work. Governmental regulation and professional guilds will desperately try to slow this transition. Medical boards will require human oversight of AI diagnoses. Bar associations will mandate attorney review of AI-generated contracts. Teaching unions will insist on classroom presence, and accounting standards will demand CPA signatures from humans.
Right.
But these regulatory speed bumps merely delay the inevitable while making the protected professions increasingly expensive and inefficient. The augmentation phase is particularly cruel because it offers false hope. Workers frantically upskill, believing that mastering AI tools will save their careers. But by the time they've learned today's AI, tomorrow's version has made that knowledge obsolete. It's like learning to use a calculator just as computers arrive. A temporary advantage that becomes irrelevant almost immediately. Eventually, the augmented experts become obsolete. The AI that augmented the radiologist's capabilities evolves not to need the radiologist at all. The transition from augmentation to automation happens gradually, then suddenly. One day you're indispensable with your AI tools, the next day AI doesn't need you anymore. The displacement happens simultaneously across all sectors. When AI replaces doctors, those doctors can't become coders. AI already replaced coders. When robots replace factory workers, those workers can't become drivers because self-driving already eliminated that too. Every escape route closes simultaneously. The evidence is already overwhelming. Waymo operates fully autonomous taxis today. No safety driver, no human backup. GPT-4 passes medical licensing exams with higher scores than most doctors. And AI systems already diagnose cancer more accurately than radiologists. Sorry, I got hackers calling me. Robotic surgeons perform operations with superhuman precision, and military drones autonomously identify and eliminate targets. GitHub Copilot writes production code that goes straight into applications serving millions. Now, each capability exists in production systems today. The question is deployment speed, and that's accelerating exponentially. What took 5 years to deploy in 2020 takes 1 year in 2025. Less.
Yes.
1 day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. By 2030, global deployment happens in months.
Let me read from here. I'll just take over. The compound effects make this timeline conservative. Self-driving vehicles don't just eliminate drivers. They eliminate gas stations, parking lots, auto insurance, traffic courts, and DMV. AI doctors don't just replace physicians. They eliminate medical schools, medical practice, malpractice insurance. They eliminate the entire healthcare billing industry. Each disruption cascades into 10 more. By 2040, the concept of human employment becomes anachronistic. The AGI level agents will handle everything from scientific research to artistic creation to strategic planning. Humans become economically redundant, not gradually, but suddenly, as each transformation reaches its tipping point. The only question is how society responds to the obsolescence of its entire workforce. Governments will face unprecedented pressure to act, and the response will follow a predictable pattern established during every economic crisis. Now, before I go into that, I just want to say some people say that machines are not, AGI is so far off. I have a different view. I think we already have achieved AGI.
We have some form of AGI.
But in other words, I think ChatGPT is smarter than most humans. And it probably is smarter than me. I really do think it's better at me at chess. It's better at me than math. It's better at me than almost anything I can think of. A way to measure it. It'll take an IQ test better than me. It will get past the
It's
SAT.
not better at making mistakes, though. We are still better. That's our strength. But I will say, there's this great quote I was thinking about just working on this chapter is that the future is here. It's just not evenly distributed yet.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you take us?
Political response. The political response will be as predictable as it is inadequate. UBI, basic and not basic, universal income. The timeline will be compressed but inevitable. First will come the protests, millions of transportation workers displaced by autonomous vehicles. Then the white-collar panic as AI agents replace knowledge workers faster than anyone predicts. By 2028, unemployment won't just be rising, it will be structurally permanent for large sectors of the population. The displaced won't disappear, they'll drift to cities, forming massive unemployed populations with nothing to do and nowhere to go. Pickleball will become even more massive.
Yeah.
Picture downtown San Francisco or Portland, but everywhere. Tent cities sprawling for miles. Former truck drivers, accountants, and middle managers wandering aimlessly through streets designed for workers who no longer exist. The violence will be inevitable, not organized revolution, but the random brutality of despair. Muggings, break-ins, flash mob robberies. When millions have no purpose, no future, and nothing to lose, civilization's thin veneer cracks. Governments will have two choices: watch society collapse or start writing checks. They'll choose the checks. UBI will start as emergency payments, just like COVID stimulus, temporary measures to help people, quote, transition. But transition to what? When AI does everything better, there's nothing to transition to. So temporary will become permanent. Emergency will become entitlement, and stimulus will become survival. By 2039, most developed nations will have some form of UBI. It won't be generous, though. Think $1,500 to $2,000 a month in today's dollars, barely covering a shared room of basic groceries. The implementations vary. Some pay in digital currencies, others in traditional fiat. Some experiment with programmatic money that expires if not spent. But they all share the same fundamental characteristic. They're creating minimal subsistence payments to prevent social collapse. The economic orthodoxy that value comes from productive work, well, it will be dead. The assumption that money represents stored labor, obsolete. The belief that prices reflect scarcity and demand, distorted beyond recognition. Want to read this one?
Yeah. When everyone receives subsistence money for existing, and AI makes some things cheap but keeps the truly desirable things expensive, what will money even mean? The price of a coffee used to represent real costs: growing beans, transportation, roasting, serving. In the AI future, vertical farms will grow standardized beans with minimal human input. Robots will handle everything from the harvest to the brewing. The marginal cost will approach zero. But without price signals, everyone will get the same approved government coffee, a caffeinated brown liquid that technically meets nutritional requirements but tastes like dystopia. Want actual coffee from real beans? Well, that will be for asset owners, not UBI recipients. Prices will become political decisions, not market signals.
I have to say, people are upset about this part of the chapter, this protein goo idea.
I get it, but it's reality. This will become fiat money's endgame, pure abstraction, untethered from any physical reality or absolute scarcity. Central banks will print currency to fund UBI. People will spend UBI to buy AI-generated goods and services. The AI companies will pay taxes, maybe, which will fund more UBI. It's a circular logic with no foundation. The traditional markers of value are breaking down completely. Labor theory of value collapses when machines do all the labor. Scarcity pricing becomes meaningless when AI makes many things abundant. Yet paradoxically, true scarcity becomes even more valuable. While AI can generate infinite digital content and mass-produce consumer goods, it can't create more beachfront property in Malibu, more ski weeks in Aspen, or more authentic Warhol paintings. These true scarce assets will see their prices explode as newly printed money chases the few things AI can't replicate. Supply and demand breaks when supply is infinite and demand is subsidized. Market price discovery becomes impossible when prices are politically determined. But there's one form of money, we're finally getting to Bitcoin, that doesn't play by these rules. One system that can't be inflated, controlled, or politically manipulated. One asset that maintains meaning even when everything else loses it. Bitcoin. 21 million coins forever. The machines understand this better than most humans.
What about Ethereum, Fred? What about Solana?
They are not. They have.
What about Ripple, man? Ripple,
yeah.
Cardano.
These guys are not going to survive. I mean, they're honestly not. They're going to be. Remember MadeSafe? I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but you remember EOS?
Yeah.
They just deregistered that from Coinbase?
MadeSafe was one of those things I bought in my MadeSafe miner for 1.5 Bitcoin in 2017.
Really?
It was like a NAS trap.
It was like a file
storage,
like what? There's another one of those Filecoin.
There's a ton of them now.
There's a ton of these things.
Storage was another one.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's only one form of money that exists that can't be run by anyone else, or by no one. There's no one who runs it. It's what Bitcoin does. Pretty amazing.
All right, let's keep on going.
Communism run by robots. Communism run by robots. Just let that sink in. Oh man. The AI-driven UBI economy will resurrect communism, but with silicon bureaucrats instead of human commissars. When governments distribute subsistence payments and AI controls production, we get the worst of both worlds. The economic inefficiency of central planning with the cold precision of algorithmic control. Consider what happens when AI allocates resources without price signals. In Soviet Russia, central planners guessed at production quotas, creating surpluses of unwanted goods and shortages of necessities. AI will be more efficient but equally soulless. The algorithm determines you need 2,000 calories a day, so you get your protein paste and vitamin supplements. Housing? Yeah, the AI calculates optimal population density and assigns you 200 square feet in a mega block. Entertainment? Here's your personalized content feed, optimized to keep you docile. Just keep riding that bike to produce energy.
This sounds like Brazil, that movie. Brazil. I mean,
or Black Mirror.
Or Black Mirror. It's totally Black Mirror. We're read.
Or Matrix,
Matrix,
same story.
You're on the feeders, yeah.
The result is algorithmic authoritarianism masquerading as abundance. The AI doesn't care about human preferences, only optimizing metrics. It sees waste in variety, inefficiency in choice, chaos in freedom. So it standardizes everything. Same food, same housing, same entertainment, differentiated only by minor variations to prevent complete psychological breakdown. North Korea with better technology.
Yeah, so it's basically like the movie Soylent Green.
Soylent Green. It's all, these are all, these dystopian things become possible.
Yeah.
So
improbable, actually.
Yeah, improbable. So the party members, those who own the AI systems, productive assets, and Bitcoin, they live differently. They get real food from actual farms, homes with actual space, experiences that aren't simulated. Two classes emerge. The asset owners who live in actual abundance and the UBI recipients who exist in managed scarcity. The revolution Marx predicted but inverted. The machines own the mean of production on behalf of the elite.
Right. So we're headed into this world where forget jobs. There are no jobs. You're not going to be working. Now, the only question is, do you own part of Tesla or do you own Bitcoin itself? If you don't own the robots, if you don't own the machines, if you don't own the stock and the companies that make the machines, or you don't own Bitcoin, which is the currency, you own nothing. And you're just going to be put on UBI. And you're going to get your paste, and you're going to get your capsule, and you're going to get your personalized feed, and that's it.
Now, this is not the future we're hoping to create together with the rest of humanity, but it seems like it's a version of the future that is pretty likely to happen. And it sort of comes from this idea that I had where I realized, oh, wow, authoritarianism was on the rise, and AI makes it actually efficient, so.
Yeah.
stuff we talk about all the time. But
Mhm.
without traditional price signals, the system develops new forms of economic calculation based on surveillance and control. The AI doesn't need market prices when it has perfect information about every individual's consumption, movement, and behavior. Utility signals emerge from vast surveillance networks, facial recognition tracking, emotional responses to products, biometric sensors measuring satisfaction levels, social media sentiment analysis determining preferences. These utility metrics guide production more efficiently than prices ever could, at least for the system's goals. And the AI knows you need new shoes before you do, based on gait analysis and wear patterns. It predicts food preferences from your microbiome data and glucose responses. It optimizes entertainment based on dopamine measurements and attention spans, and every human becomes a data point in a vast optimization function designed not for human flourishing, but for social stability and elite objectives. Resources still get misallocated, but now with mathematical precision. The AI might decide lithium batteries are optimal for control purposes, so it strip mines Bolivia. It might calculate that bugs provide efficient protein for population management, so it converts farmland to cricket factories. The difference is that these aren't errors, they're features. The system optimizes for control, not satisfaction. And market feedback doesn't correct these errors because there's no market, just an algorithm optimizing for the wrong variables, but optimizing them perfectly. Bitcoin becomes the escape route. When people can save in Bitcoin instead of spending depreciating UBI credits, they vote with their savings. When they can transact in Bitcoin instead of surveillance CBDCs, they create actual markets. Bitcoin becomes the parallel economy where real value, not algorithmic allocation, determines resource distribution.
All right, we'll read one more and we're going to call it quick because I think
We'll
this.
split this into two.
we're gonna
This is
split it
so
into-
long.
We're going to read the algorithmic governance. So, algorithmic governance and velvet glove control. The future UBI system won't deliver bare subsistence, but a carefully calibrated middle class minimum. Though enough comfort to prevent rebellion, not enough freedom to escape. This is the velvet glove dystopia. Oppression that feels like care, control masquerading as compassion. The baseline package will include decent housing, 400 square feet in a managed complex, adequate nutrition, 3,000 calories of optimized food products, basic healthcare, AI diagnosis and standard treatments, and endless entertainment, personalized content streams. It's not poverty, it's managed mediocrity. Most people will accept it because the alternative is chaos. But the real control comes through behavioral incentives algorithmically tuned to maintain social stability. Your social credit score determines your extras. Did you attend the community meeting? Extra entertainment credits. Post positive content about the system? Premium food allocation for a month. Report suspicious behavior? Priority healthcare access. Question your system? Your benefits mysteriously glitch. The AI surveillance system will optimize these rewards in real time, adjusting payments not for fairness but for control. It will identify potential troublemakers through pattern recognition. Someone's reading too much history, asking uncomfortable questions, organizing informal gatherings. Their benefits won't be cut, too obvious, but subtly degraded. Longer wait times, frequent system errors, random inspections. Luxury becomes the ultimate control mechanism. While everyone gets the baseline, true quality, real food, spacious housing, genuine experience, requires compliance tokens earned through approved behaviors. Want to visit the beach? Well, that requires travel credits earned through community contribution. You want grass-fed beef instead of protein? Protein paste? That needs premium food tokens from civic participation. The system will maintain the illusion of choice and mobility. You can earn better housing through good behavior. You can qualify for enhanced benefits through education programs that teach nothing useful. You can advance through the system by becoming an enforcer of it. But real escape, actual wealth accumulation, genuine freedom, authentic achievement becomes impossible within the official economy. This is more insidious than Orwell imagined. Not brutal oppression,
but comfortable captivity. Not thought police, but thought incentives. Not Room 101, but reward algorithms. The population won't rebel against change they've been programmed to love. All right, we're going to break it up there.
That's half of the chapter, basically. But as you can tell, it's a beautiful view of the future.
Very dystopian, Blade Runner-ish,
Cricket farms, and we should make some Sora videos about this future where you got like the rotate paste in the mail. It's like, I got fish. Which one did you get?
Yeah.
Like, I got pork. Oh man, let's trade.
Yeah, but we go on to cover much more Bitcoin related stuff, but we wanted to kind of just have this. The most immediate consequence of AI I see for the next 10 years is just this massive job loss. And the impact of this is going to be massive money printing.
Remember we got our stimmies. I can't remember ever getting a stimulus check in my lifetime before the pandemic.
No,
Did you ever get one?
No.
So we got our stimmies. Then guess how many years later has it been? We're getting stimmies again. Because Trump's talking about another $2,000 or $2,000.
6 years.
Now. So pretty amazing.
Yeah.
In 40 years, I was alive. That we got nothing.
No.
Then all of a sudden, now we're getting two in just a few years.
Yeah.
It's going to keep accelerating, guys, and just assets that are scarcer are going to increase in value.
Yep.
Real estate, gold, stocks, not really bonds, but Bitcoin more than all of them.
All right, guys, that's it for now. Hope you enjoy it. Stay focused on the long term. Talk to you guys soon.
Zoom out.